Hi everyone, thanks for joining us on this video about timetables. I want to take this time in this video. It's going to be quite a long one. There's going to be a lot of information in it. Just to do a bit of a deep dive into the timetables and how they work. So we'll just take a look at our demo school. We've got two types of timetables in my book that you'll use as an administrator. The first one is the masters. So this is illustrated by the green icon. The second one is the weekly timetable, which is illustrated by the red icons. So a master timetable is a template of your week. You use it to create the terms. So it takes a snapshot of that week and creates it over and over again for the amount of weeks that you select when you're creating a term. The weekly timetables are the day-to-day timetables that will change as parents make changes, as you make changes, so they change all the time. You can use a masterclass to update and interact with the weekly, but only administrators get access to the masterclass. You can create a new class for either a master or a weekly under these general icons. So we've got a new masterclass and a new class. You click on the link, complete the information that's required for it, and then create the class. For both master and weekly classes, you select the location for the new class on the form. That's why there's only a single option for both creations. They allow you to put them into the right location as required. You can also, from the master timetable and the weekly timetable, go through deleting classes. So under the master timetable, when you edit a class, at the bottom, you're given an option to remove the master class, and then you can also select to update the term. So we would select yes, and then you can choose whether or not the children who are in those classes that were removed get a makeup lesson credited to their account. By clicking on this delete button, that will delete all future classes for this time frame. So what I want to do now is just take a look into a few scenarios, a few options that happen. So let's dive over and take a quick look. So the first one I wanted to look at was partway through a term, we need to create a new Monday 8:30 class. This is going to be a permanent class. It's not going to be a short-term one. So we want to be able to create it as a master and as a weekly, and have it be updated by the master timetable. So to do this, we're going to have to create two classes. So I select my timetables menu, and first I'm going to go and create the master class. So I'll just enter the information I need here. So it's going to be at 8:30 for 20 minutes, 4 students, Judy is the instructor. Now you need to make a note of this information. So it's 20, 4 and Judy, because the weekly timetable needs to match that. We've also got a bit of a note here about this situation, where there's a bit of a guide that you can follow to fixing this up. So we'll just create that. Once that's created, I can then create my weekly classes. So it's going to start on Monday. It's going to go for 5 weeks because we have 5 weeks left in the term. It was at 8:30 for 20 minutes with 4. So you can see that I've mimicked the master timetable here when I create my weekly classes. So now I have the master class ready and the weekly timetables. If I have a quick look at my weekly timetables, so we'll just select Monday. At 8:30, you can see that I've got 0 out of 4 available. So now let's go and put some students into this one, and I want to put the students in for the rest of the term. So to do that, under the master timetable, I edit my class, and I'll pick a number of students. So we'll put Autumn and Dustin. I'll then select to update the term. Now, if I come back into the master timetable, I can see now that I've got 2 students in all of my future classes. And if I edit my weekly timetables, I'll be able to see those students appear for all future classes. So now we can see Dustin and Autumn have appeared. So the next thing I want to look at is how to create a once-off class. So this might be an assessment class, or maybe you want to run 2 or 3 classes near the end of the term to add a bit of capacity. So we're just going to create an 8 AM Wednesday class for assessment. So under the timetables, I just create a new class. Now we're not going to create a master class because it doesn't need to be managed like that. So we're just going to choose Wednesday. It's just for one class, and it was for 7 AM. So we'll give it 30 minutes. We're just going to have the one, and we'll pick our instructor, and then we hit create. So that goes through now. And if I take a look at my classes, just skip over to Wednesday. I can see that I created it, but I created it at 7 PM. So I can just go in here and check out the options. Now once a class has been created, we can't modify the date or the starting time. So I can then go and remove this class, and that's how we manage classes like that. The next thing I'd like to look at is from next term, we want to run a 7:30 AM on Thursday class. We don't want to run it for this term because we're getting near the end, but ready for next term we want to do the 7:30. So we'll jump over to our timetables, and then we select to make a new master class. We select Thursday, choose our time, we just complete the rest of the information in this that's required for it, and then hit create. So then I can go into my master timetable. I can put in my students ready for next term, and then when I'm ready to create next term, I can then go, it will then create that class ready to go. The last scenario I want to look at is issues between the master and the weekly timetables when they get out of sync. So you may have made a change to the master timetable, taken a student out, and missed the opportunity to update the term. So in this part of the video, I just want to cover how to get those back up to date and get them working again. So we can see here that on this Friday at 8:30 class, Regina is listed in the class. If we go forward into next week, we can see that she's also in that class as well. However, in my master timetable, Regina does not appear. So if I wanted to take Regina out, there's a bit of we can't do that. So what I need to do to get these two back into sync is I need to make them both look exactly the same. So I've noticed that Duncan and Gaylord are still in that class. So what I'm going to do is edit this master class, and then I'm going to select to add Regina back into the class. I'm going to select no to updating the term. Otherwise, if I was to add her in now, what would happen is that Regina would appear in this class twice because they're out of sync. When I add, it adds another person in. So just go modify on that. So that now gets my master timetable back into sync with the way that the weekly timetable is. I can then take Regina out of this timetable. I'm going to select to update the term, and we can notice here that we've got the weeks in the future. So we've got 3 in these classes. So then if I go modify and go back to the timetable, we can see that I've dropped down to 2, which is Duncan and Gaylord. We also go and take a look at the timetables. So this class here was the one that happened this morning, so it hasn't been changed because it's in the past. However, next week's timetable has just got Duncan and Gaylord. rather than having Regina as well. So that's how we get those two back into sync. What we need to do is make them both the same, and we do that by editing the master timetable. So the easiest way is to look at the weekly timetable, just make a quick note of the students that are in that class, go back into the master timetable and add the students so that it matches. From there, we can then make changes, take students in or out, and it will start to update the term as well. So thanks for watching this video. There's a lot to cover in it, and but as you get used to the timetables, you'll find that they're very flexible and offer a lot of customization for your school. If you do have questions about the timetables and how you might apply them to your school, please feel free to get in touch with us via our support page. Thanks for listening.